we have Mr. Rob. His name is Terror. Let us see if we can invite him. You want to join us, Mr. Rob? Mr. Terror, you wanna join us? How we can let him talk? Let's see.
Hey, hello.
All right, Rob. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing very good. How are you, CP?
I'm fine. So you are a Muslim, right?
Yeah.
All right. What do you think about what we are saying about the hadith? It says there's a verse in the Quran. It says, أيها المدثر. You know, I don't know if you know it.
Yes, I'm aware of the
Okay.
verse.
So what rajis mean?
Rajis is referring to the idols, as the early Muslims explained.
All right.
So it's commanding Muhammad alayhi afdal salati wassalam to avoid the idols, essentially.
So he was not avoiding the idol before.
No, he was a polytheist, part of his people, and then Allah commanded him to stop worshipping the idols in conjunction to his message. The early Muslims didn't have a problem.
So how Allah he chose someone he is a polytheist to be his prophet? He is a polytheist until that moment.
Well, it's not impossible because, you know, there's verses in the Quran where it says, وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى. There's other prophets in the Quran, such as Yunus, which says, سُبْحَانَكَ رَبِّي إِنِّي كُنْتُ مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ, and so on and so forth. You know, the early Muslims didn't have a problem with prophets being polytheists or sinners and whatnot. But the conjunction here is, as Ibn Taymiyyah said, for example, that Allah does not leave them upon misguidance and actually corrects them as they go. So, you know, it is not logically impossible for the Prophet to have not been a, you know, complete devout monotheist and have made mistakes throughout his prophethood.
I will go with you, but you know, isn't it the Quran says that the one who Allah misguide, no guidance for him? So who is the one who misguide Muhammad?
Yeah, this is in relation to Qadr. Essentially how it works.
But who is the one who misguided Muhammad before this point and made him believe in the pagan gods?
Qadr, right? There's primary causation and there's secondary causation.
Okay,
so how this works is that in Allah's eternal knowledge, there's something called al-qalam. He wrote the decree of what will happen in the future, and this decree is based on what the actions of the people have done throughout the whole course of human history. Essentially, when Muhammad, for example, he committed polytheism, sins, and also the other prophets, so on and so forth. This was recorded in Lawh al-Mahfuz. And the Lawh al-Mahfuz is a record of all that will happen. And so, you know, Allah would be a primary cause for the guidance of misguidance. But this is in conjunction of the taysir, in which the secondary cause is committing sins and thus persisting on either guidance or misguidance.
Okay. So, but Lawh al-Mahfuz is not only about information is written there, it's about destiny, which means it's your God.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay, yeah.
Information is
but why Allah he made a destiny for Muhammad to worship idols? What's the point? Why he made him?
Understanding. So the Lawh al-Mahfuz, what it does is it records all eternal future events, right? So anything that Allah knows in his eternal knowledge that will happen, this is recorded in the Lawh. So it is not a causal force of events regarding the conjunction of what happened in the earth, right? So, for example, Allah in His eternal
destiny,
knowledge that
hold on, destiny. Destiny is not a record. Destiny is not a record only. It is your God. He decides for you, correct?
No. In Islam, see, there are four aspects of qadr. There's ilm, there is kitaba, and there's khalq, which is referring to the creation of the actions of the people. And then there's what is it? Ilm, kitaba, khalq, and mashi'a, will. Right.
Well, all of them actually, in fact, all of those is one thing. But the Muslim, they try to make philosophy out of it. But in the end of the day, it's one thing. It's one thing.
They're part of. No. Listen. So qadr is made up for these four aspects. You can't like deny one of these aspects and you know, be a Muslim, because that's becoming a qadari essentially. You know who the qadariya are, of course, right?
No, teach me. Go ahead.
Okay, the Qadariya are a sect of deviants according to traditionalist Islamic theology, which denied aspects of qadr. So, for example, they've denied the foreknowledge of Allah, that Allah knows all future events. And some of them denied the khalq of Allah, that Allah creates the actions. The Ash'ari, they also believe in occasionalism, in which Allah directly causes the action. And, you know, so on and so forth. So these four aspects of qadr.
But how come they are wrong? They are right. Your God, Allah, do not know the future. Do He know?
I mean, yeah, that's a heretical view in Orthodox theology. But
no, this is true. This is true. As an example, if we go in the Quran right now, if you remember in the chapter of Al-Anfal, it says Allah, He gave a certain number, like 100 of you can fight 1,000, correct?
Yeah, I know the verse.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is talking about relative taqdir.
What
So
relative? This is not
essentially
relative. It says وَعَلِمَ وَالْآنَ عَلِمَ الآن.
Yeah, well, I'll explain it.
And
No problem.
مضافا. So now Allah, He just found out that you have a weakness. So now He abrogated the number. So if Allah, He knew, if He knew that you are weak, well, He will not ask you to fight 10 when you cannot fight 10. Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially this relates to relative taqdir. What that means is that وَالْآنَ عَلِمَ is a relative to the environment of the people at the time, right? So it is not speaking of the taqdir in His eternal knowledge. It is talking about relative taqdir.
Is Allah knowledge is separated? Is Allah knowledge is separated? Like there's a stages of Allah knowledge?
No, there's as I said, there's absolute knowledge and there's relative knowledge. There's
so who is the one who decided this is not absolute knowledge? Is that because he failed to prove that he had knowledge? So now we try to justify.
It's not about whoever decides, right? Because right now what we have are relative events. Do you understand what relative events are?
is when Allah He says 10 of you, like one of you can fight 10. Do Allah is that relative to?
Yeah, it's relative to the person who's fighting. It's not relative to the absolute.
No. Okay, hold on. Let us say it's relative to. Okay, let us go with this. I will go with you. So if I am God and I say to you, you specifically by name, you can fight 10. But it is you, the same person. I say to you, but you know what? I just found out that you cannot fight 10, so one can fight 2. So I was speaking to the same people in the same time. This is the same event.
No, when you're so there's another verse in the Quran. This is the same. It's related to this. I'll explain it to you so it's much easier, right? Yeah, I get what you're saying on the apparent meaning. Someone might get the impression of that, right? However, if you look at the
so
verse,
you are a person who believes there's a parent. Are you from Batiniyin?
No, dude. There's a difference between batini.
Well, you are the one who says a parent. You are the one who says a parent.
No. You're talking about Zahiris now. I don't know if you're conflating between Zahiris and
there is
Batini.
Zahiri and Batini. So which one is you?
Yeah. So this is not Batiniya, my friend. Okay, this is not Sufi mysticism.
But you are the one who said to me, it appeared to you, it looked like this, but it means something else.
Listen. The Quran, it says there's ayat that are muhkamat and mutashabihat, right?
So now we have to go to 0. It says Allah told us nobody can understand Allah. So now, but this is clear. This is about numbers. This is about the pure mathematics. One can fight 10.
Nobody's saying it's unclear. I'm saying that there's a theological implication in what you're saying, right? So either the implication is correct or it's wrong, because a verse in its apparent could lead to few possible meanings, right?
There's no other meaning.
The apparent of it is not necessarily what the first meaning.
What necessarily?
For example,
there's options now.
I'll give you an example. Let me give you an example, okay? Allahu khalqu kulli shay. Does that mean Allah creates Himself? If I tell you God created
I will go with you. So, guys, just listen carefully what our friend here, Mr. Rob, said. Allahu khalaqa kulla shay. And he said, does that mean Allah created everything? Because he said, Allah created everything. But look what you just said. You just confess now that your God, Allah, is a thing.
Yeah, Allah is a thing. Are you saying He's nothing?
No. Are you saying Allah is a thing?
No. Listen, dude. Listen. As a Christian, you believe God created everything. Is God a thing?
Listen. No, you as a Muslim, you're a Muslim. You said Allah. You did not say God. You said Allah. Allah created everything. Does that mean Allah created Himself? But by saying that,
that's a question for you, my friend. Listen, you're a Christian.
You use the word Allah. You use the word Allah.
Yeah, dude. It doesn't matter. Right?
So is Allah is a thing? Is Allah is a thing?
Yes, Allah is a thing. Do you believe Allah?
That means He's created. Well, He's a thing.
Okay, so it's God a thing.
Okay, hold on. If you are putting
no, Habibi, don't say hold on. Let's ask you a question.
Let's stop here. It is you who made Allah a thing. It is you who said Allah is just a.
You don't believe Allah is
my friend. It's you who said Allah is a thing, and when the Quran says Allah created everything, that means He created Allah too, because Allah is one of those things.
Allah too.
Yeah, isn't it? There's a hadith that says that Allah created Himself from the sweat of the horses.
No, that's a mawdu' hadith as far as I know. But
I
either
know.
ways,
Anything is embarrassing. Anything is embarrassing. It is
everything
it is
embarrassing Muslims say
okay,
mawdu'.
no
You're
problem.
right.
Okay, let us go back
Yeah,
here.
you're right.
Let us focus on here. You know,
Ilm al-hadith doesn't exist. Ilm al-rijal is bullshit.
my friend, Ilm al-hadith does not exist because Muslims, they play games. As an example, I can find you one hadith is mentioned by 1,000 scholars, it is sahih, and then the guy he comes and he says it's not sahih. So you play with it, you know, as much you want.
Yeah, exactly. It's a game.
So it's a game. You know? Thank you very much. So, but here in the Quran, we have a Quran, and now what you want to do? It says clearly that Allah, He says, one of you can fight 10. And if Allah, if Allah is God, if Allah,
when it comes to understanding the Quran, you look at the earliest tafsir, right? That's how you have epistemic knowledge of how Muslims understood that verse in its historical context, right?
Okay.
If I take a verse in the Bible and I say, for example, God is stupid, He says X and Y, you know, He said make a poop sandwich in Ezekiel or blah blah blah, right? You know, you will say, "Oh, my friend, the Bible does not say that. The Bible not say that." Blah, 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 blah.
The Bible says that they are going to be cursed. They will be suffering, and they will go through horrible time. This is not about God making them eat. This is you will struggle. You will eat from anything. You will.
Okay. So now you're deviating from.
So the verse is so clear there. The verse, but my friend, you are trying to avoid the question. One can fight 10.
Not avoiding the question.
One can fight 10. There's no need for interpretation. So there's no need for interpretation. One can fight 10, either yes or no. And then when Allah He says, and you speak Arabic, and now you speak Arabic, it says, الآن خفف الله عنكم وعلم. Do you know what alima mean?
Alima, and
okay. When he found out, now he found out.
Yeah, but I have to question what you mean by in relativeness, okay? Because when Allah has absolute knowledge, right, and He's talking about, for example, أنزل القرآن محدث, right? What does muhdath mean? Muhdath means it is new relative to you. So the revelation is new relative to you, O Muhammad. For example, let's say Moses. Habibi, CP.
All right.
Go with my example.
I'm listening.
Okay. So, for example, when God revealed the 10 Commandments to Moses on Mount Sinai, as you believe, right? Is this revelation muhdath or was it eternal? Is it relatively new to Moses or is it eternal with Allah? Eternal absolute knowledge with God, I mean, because you don't believe Allah is God.
What does have to do with this? What does have to do with this?
No, Habibi, answer the question.
Okay.
Is the revelation to Musa eternal or relative to Musa? Tafadhal.
I'm not God. I don't know. You see, God, he no. Let me answer you. Maybe God, He decided at this time. Now He decided to say this. God did not need. Listen. You are being silly now. I'm not insulting you. You are saying that God, before He told. Listen. So God, listen. You are saying to me that your God is very silly. He cannot speak to Moses in the moment, and he cannot.
My God is silly.
Hold on.
My God.
Let me finish my topic. Let me finish my topic. Okay. So you are saying to me that God, before He spoke to Moses, He thought about it 10 million years, and then He wrote it in a book, and then Moses now is created 10 million years after, and now God, He opened His book. He says, "Oh, I said 10,000 years." This is a silly argument. Work only in Islam. This is why you Muslims believe there is a tablet, and Allah He wrote everything in the tablet, and now Allah read it from the tablet, so He can tell Moses what He wrote in the tablet because He's not God. My God, He do not need a tablet. He can come with a command now. There's a command. God, He's saying now, have nothing to do with being eternal or not. The command now given to Moses. So I wasn't with God to say maybe he decided before, but what I know, that God said to Moses, I do not know that God thought about saying to Musa 10 billion years ago. You are fabricating things about God because your God is not able to make a conditions or command in the moment. He have to think about it. He have to write it down. He have a notebook. It's called a tablet. And He put the tablet between the two eyes of the angel Israfil. And why? Because He don't want anyone to read from that tablet. Is that correct? Hello? What happened? He's gone? Where do you go?
Mari ikut Yesus. Mari ke jalan yang benar. Tuhan berkati.